You going to do an intro?
Oh, I could do, yeah. Okay. Welcome to the RDAs show, episode 163. What's that? Over 3 years. Oh. Well, tonight's show we haven't got James because he's at a ping pong contest. He's the referee. He'll be back next week, and I'm sure he'll fill us in on how that went. On tonight's show, it's called Rip Up the Script. We're going to talk about some topics. We might throw in a bit about squonking. It might be it might be a little bit about squonking too, and possibly a bit of vape drama. We like a bit of drama, don't we?
Oh, I love drama.
Yeah, and that's about it, really. But why don't we get into it? Brad.
Yes, darling.
How's your week been? What are you vaping on? What did you have for lunch? And I don't know a question. Answer those. I'll think of a question.
Okay, cool. Week's been awesome. It was my birthday on Tuesday. Thank you to everyone who sent me a message or tagged me and stuff, or commented on my wall, or commented on iOS. I was up until 3 o'clock in the morning reading through it all.
Aww.
My wife and I went to Rome for my birthday.
Yes, we did there for like a couple of nights. Was it 2 or 3 nights or something?
One night.
Lovely.
One night, and I managed to eat my own body weight in pizza. It was.
When you get out of Rome, you'll be able to try another one. It's called pizza. It tastes like the one in Rome, but it's less shit.
I had what can only be described as the best pizza of my life.
That's fine. You'll be able to get better pizza. What did you have? What did you pick on it? What did you go for on the pizza?
Cheese and spicy sausage. That's it.
That's good. That is a good combo.
All you need. That's all you need on pizza.
Yeah. Minimalist toppings. As long as it's got cheese, crispy ass dough.
Their tomato sauce is 10 times, but their passata kind of thing is so sweet, and it's a different color. It's like a light orange.
It's cooked down properly, isn't it? Cooked down tomatoes and onions go sweet when we make our own pizza sauce.
I'll be coming around to yours on the weekend for pizza then, shall I?
Yeah, I'll make thin crust proper pizzas, but not as good as proper ones. It's not hot enough in my oven.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so that's been my week. I'm still vaping on this little guy, although this guy didn't go with me to Rome. I took the T18 Terminator mod that
the Endura
Richard gave me, the Endura. And I also realized that I'm a moron.
We knew
because,
that. Yeah, we've been talking about it.
But it's new to me.
Oh, cool.
That's not only on the way there.
Write it down because you forgot last time.
But again on the way back, I forgot to empty the tank before I got on the plane. So I had juice piss out all over it in my bag.
Who did you fly with? Just wondering. Ryanair.
Ryanair, yeah.
Oh, nice. So you went to that weird military airport in the north. It's not really in Rome at all. Is that the one?
No, we went to Fumancino.
Yeah. So it's sort of not. Yes, it's not in Rome.
Yeah, you're like 30 minutes out of Rome.
Yeah. And the departures is like a bus station. Goodbye, really.
Yeah, it's the weirdest departures area. There's a.
You can get half a pint of wine for about £5.
I know, and what's left of my liver can attest to the poor quality of it.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, I don't do flying sober. So.
No, I don't mind it. My wife doesn't or shouldn't do flying sober. She to say she has a fear of flying is an understatement. But yeah, so that was wrong.
Cool.
That was when I was vaping, and I am drinking Clockwork Tangerine by Brewdog.
Nice. I like that.
That's a good choice.
Have you thought of a question there, darling?
What's your favourite way to have eggs?
That was like someone ringing into Going Live in 1989.
What's your favourite way? I want to ask Bananarama, what is your favourite way to eat eggs?
I couldn't think of anything else. Egg is always on my mind when I come on here and do this. It still grates me, the egg salad conundrum.
Don't grate it. Just slice it. That's what I think
Just
with a salad.
What do you mean it grates you, Rick?
Toss it in a salad where it belongs.
Because a salad
There you
doesn't
go.
have to have egg, in my opinion.
No,
Oh.
it doesn't. That's the whole joke.
What? It does.
It doesn't, John.
It
What's a fucking Caesar salad?
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
what I said the other day. What's a Caesar salad? That hasn't got egg in it.
has. It's got
It
egg in the
might have some
dressing.
mayonnaise. It doesn't actually have mayonnaise, though. It has a dressing that might not have egg in it.
It does. It does have egg in it. It has egg in the
This
dressing.
is the sort of thing we should be talking about all
It's
week.
got mature egg
Clarifying what
in
the
it.
actual jokes are.
There's plenty of other salads that don't have any mayonnaise or egg in them.
It's got mature
Not-
egg in
doesn't
it,
count
also
as a
called
salad,
chicken.
then.
A Waldorf salad.
Yeah, egg, walnut,
Not egg.
sultanas, bit of cheese.
Oh, yeah. So, egg in a salad where it belongs. That's my final answer, and I'm sticking to it. I am going to turn this around and throw it at Richard, darling.
Hello.
How's your week been? What you vaping on? What you drinking with? What did you have for lunch? And sticking with the food genre of strange questions, what would you rather, fried lamb's brains or buffalo testicles?
I don't mind it. Sounds good.
And what? Or else what?
No, those are your options.
Oh, you got to marry Clive. I don't know if I got his name right, but it was a in joke. I forgot the name of.
Oh gosh, it wasn't Clive.
It wasn't Clive. No. Carry on.
Gareth, I think.
No. We'll work it out.
Pretty sure it's Gareth. Okay, drinking directors by Courage.
Ooh.
I don't think it's a great tasting beer. I think
Graham.
It's okay. It's okay, but it makes me smile every time because it reminds me of Partridge. He drinks directors and swears by it. Doesn't he?
Graham, isn't it?
Graham.
I was just Googling it and then I was like, it's Graham.
Hey, Graham, you don't leave a monkey around, have you?
And if anyone doesn't understand what they're talking about, I don't either.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
You and me both, Rick.
It's all right. It's fine. We do.
Drinking directors from Courage Brewery down south. And week's been all right. Deja vu a bit this week though, because I fucked up my live broadcast as well, and now fucked up our live broadcast. It's all just history repeating. One of these days. So that's that. Week's been fine though. Week's been fine. I've been doing Brexit readiness assessments.
Sounds enthralling.
Yeah. It's the people that we provide stuff to want to
Would
make
you
sure
like to speak to a counsellor?
we're Brexit ready. We're very lucky.
Ready, Breck, sit.
Yeah, ready, Breck. That's it.
Sit.
What was it? There's another new way of saying it. Brexit. Oh,
Shit.
Brit exit. That's what some people are saying. It's quite nice.
Oh.
Yeah, so been doing that. Luckily, my business, reflected where I work, is incredibly UK centric, so very minimal impact. So I can put no to a lot of what would be long-winded answers. So that's all right. So that's that. Vaping on the EQ from Innikin. So Paul McCartney from Vape Don't Smoke. He did a post the other day saying, "Oh, thanks again to Innikin for sending me at Christmas individually marked pod." And alarm bells went off because it went look like that. I was like, "Hang on, Innikin sent me a random pod system at Christmas, but I'd never even bothered to get it out of the box." I just thought, "Oh yeah, I've seen that. Cheers."
You know, you've hit the big time when you're getting your bespoke pods.
So just simply because it's got my name on it, I've loaded it up. So I'm giving that a whirl.
Can we buy the same mod with your name on it?
No,
Damn.
because they did another one.
That's got to be one of the
I've done a
next
big move
things.
around because I've got an extra monitor now, so I've done a big move around. But they did another one a little, and it's got less capacity. It's got less battery life. It's called the DV, and it's got a few things. And everyone was like, "Oh, it's naff because it's not got enough capacity and enough battery life." Well, you didn't like this one either, and they tried that. We'll talk about pods a bit more later on. But so that the topside jewel with the drop dead on top, just for the cloudage, and then on the mod maker dual parallel, got the Haku with back to its original cap. Now it's on the black matte black. I like that. Juices wise, I've got Jeffrey's Vintage Vapes, Elderflower and Apple. I've got Nata in one of them as well, and Merlin from Vaping King in the pod. So there we go. What was there? Oh, the question. Definitely the brain. Definitely the brain, because I've seen that I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and the balls look really chewy.
Yes. Yeah. But the brain is certainly tastier.
I could eat a knob at night.
That's the thing that they don't tell you about that show.
No.
Like it's they do the trials early in the morning. It's like on an empty stomach. You've got like...
See, what me and Richard are actually doing is bits from Ricky Gervais' podcast. That was
I could eat a knob at night.
I could eat a knob at night. Just give me some rice. But
bit of rice will be better. I'll come back in a couple of hours.
Let me get something on my stomach.
Yeah. Brain.
I did a giveaway while we were talking. Me and Richard were being weird, and nobody knew what we were on about. And I said, if anybody else knows what we're on about, they can win a Nata kit. And Dino Knight in chat said Ricky Gervais podcast, so he's going to get a Nata kit.
There we go.
There you go.
Nice one, Dino.
Very good. So that's me. Definitely the brain. That's it, innit? That's it. Directors, week's been fine. Brexit, vaping, drinking. Yeah. John.
Yes.
How's your week been? What are you drinking? What are you vaping? What do you have for lunch? And if you could only eat one thing forever, what would that one thing be?
Egg.
No. That was quite good. Actually. No, I've got a really good answer, so I can guess my answer in chat.
Tangerines.
Yeah, I've had to. I'm gonna be out forthright and say I've had a really shitty week actually. But that's more sort of basically one of my school friends passed away this week, and so it's just been a bit of one of those where my brain won't settle because you just keep thinking about all the time. So yes, so I'm putting on a brave face and being daft, but yeah, it's a bit shit, and having to tell other mates as well. It's been one of those anyway. I thought I'd bum you all out. What?
You could cheer us up with the story of how you told one of your mates.
Okay, I will tell you that story. Only because it's funny.
And you're not bumming us out because it's not our mate.
That's true.
No,
We'll start worrying when our mates die.
So I found out on Tuesday afternoon about 5:30 or something like that. And I was talking to my wife, and I said, I'm going to take the dog out, and at the same time, I'm going to ring Simon, my old best mate, and let him know what's happened. And my wife said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So walking down the road and thinking, trying to think of the right words to tell your friend that one of your other friends has died. So I picked my phone, scrolled, Simon started ringing. He picked it up. All right. Said, Anna, mate, I don't really know how to say this. I don't think you know yet, but I've got some really awful news. And he said, don't worry, I know Marks and Spencer's is closing. Which which I was so upset that it made me laugh so much. And I said, that, yes, you're going to find out why that's really funny in a minute. But it ain't that.
They closed my dad's as well.
I really I hate the Marks and Spencers in Felixstowe that he was talking about, and I don't care. I really chuffed it's closed because the people who work there. It's like if you go in a place and the people who work there are just being volunteers for charity. That's what it's like. So you got to give them a bit of leeway, but then they're not. They actually are employed there. I hate it, and I hate.
But where's my dad going to get his pants? That's what he asked me. He said, where am I going to get my
M&S online?
Where am I going to get my?
Online.
He actually said, where am I going to get my knickers? Because he's always called men's underpants knickers for some reason.
From the sounds of it, he gets them from your mum's drawer.
Yeah. I have a job on. He ain't got a key to her house.
That was good. Oh yeah, but also right, let's go on vaping instead. I am vaping on. What am I vaping on? I'm vaping on elderflower and apple from Jeffrey's Vintage Vape in the big 4mm EVL Reaper V3 tank on the smallest airflow. I can get like 2 or 3 days out of this tank because it's big and this is quite packed strong. So that's lovely. Don't know why I said so. And then I got the what have I got back? Oh, it's the Saver, fully open on a Pabst V4 with raspberry mint in it. That's delightful. What am I drinking on? I'm drinking on Meantime gluten-free pale ale. This would be number 3 in the top 3 gluten-free beers. It's all right. It does taste like Meantime, the regular Meantime, but Scarborough Fair by World's Top is probably number 1. The number 2 is the one I had the other week. I can't remember who's that's by. The one that like the fancy blue and black can. But I don't live anywhere near anything like that.
I actually bought a gluten-free beer a couple of weeks back to drink with you on the show in solidarity.
What was it?
Oh, Monzo something or other.
We should spin it.
Yeah, and then Rick wasn't drinking alcohol beer, so I thought, well, I'll drink that, and then I'll just pour myself a glass of water and drink that with Rick. But I haven't been able to stomach the thought of drinking gluten-free beers. The shit is still in my fridge.
It is awful. But if you've got a Waitrose nearby, it's not in the gluten-free bit. It's in the normal bit. It's just called it's called Scarborough Fair, and it's 6.5% IPA, and it's £2.
I will drink one with you next week.
£2.5p for a pint, that's all right actually, especially for Waitrose. Where was? Oh yeah, so yeah. But, I'll tell you something else. Just a John O'Norrie story. When I went into Tesco's to get this beer, I really wanted a coffee. It was quite early this morning, so I thought I'll go into Tesco's. I've never been in there and got a coffee because I'm a picky twat. But I noticed they'd got a machine, so I thought, well, all right. So I said, "Can I have a takeaway medium Americano?" Which was ridiculously big, black. I'm not drinking cow juice, please. And he made me the coffee. Put it down. I went to the end, stirred a sweetener into it, popped the lid on. I wasn't really looking in it, and then I as I walked past the counter, I took a sip, turned back, put it on the counter, and said, "I'm not drinking that. You can have it," and then just left. Fucking piss! I'd never.
That's the trouble with going in anywhere, buying a coffee and getting a bigger coffee. Is it's the same amount of coffee, just more water in it?
What the fuck is that? Well, not around. Yeah. How hard is it to get a decent coffee machine and do it properly? That's absolutely stupid. I always drink double espresso Americano. It's better. If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, what would it be? Have we got anything to give away for this? I'll give away something else. what I'm about to say is from what movie in chat? Let me know, and I will send you a bottle of. I'll send you a Frambosa kit when it arrives. If I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, easy. Pez, cherry flavour Pez.
You'd have to eat a lot of them to get your daily.
No, still getting. Dino's trying to win 2 kits. He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. I think someone's going to get it. So really, it's on the film poster. No. Let's see if somebody wins it. Everyone's typing Goonies. It's not the Goonies.
I think people were typing Goonies before you finished the question.
Before I even finished the thing, yeah, just quickly. Just Goonies. Yay, Simon Watson, you just won a kit. From just that Nick, not a Frambosa. It's landing on Tuesday, and send me your address, and I'll get you a kit. Any Nick strength, just let me know. That Home Alone, fuck me. And yes, it's a joke when they're around the campfire.
Huh?
What food could you eat for the rest of your life? My real answer would be probably pancakes. I like pancakes. Yeah,
The thought of that is making me hungry.
Like them.
A little bit of cinnamon and sugar and lemon juice.
Oh, I'm more of a Yankee kind of pancake person. Bit of what's it called? Sour. You know what? Whatever. Right. Are we going on to things we're going to talk about?
What about me?
Oh, sorry, Rick. How's your week been?
Me?
Sorry,
Oh,
Rick.
God.
Rick, how has your week been, my lover? What are you vaping on? What are you drinking on? And what's the best night you've ever spent in a tent?
Right, okay. Best night I've ever spent in a tent is probably any night that the airbed doesn't deflate. Because they always fucking do, and I hate it. I hate it. You can't. Can you have a good night in a tent? I don't know.
Yeah, of course you can.
You mean what you've done before you've gone and slept in a tent after?
No, you could be a good night in a tent.
Sharon Stone's in there.
We used to, when I was a kid, we used to spend for £2. You used to be able to put up a tent down the golf course. So we used to go out and get shit faced when we were about 15, and tell all our parents we were staying at the other one's house. They would just toss in a tent.
I know what I could say. The best night I've spent in a tent is going to be one of the original illegal raves in 1980.
I knew you were going to go with that. That was good though. Good effort. Good effort.
Yeah, it's got to be one of those. Back in my reckless years. Yeah, very good. How's my week been? Week's been quite busy and manic. Got a show exclusive, really. I suppose I should say about a new thing, should I?
Go for it, mate.
Go for it, right?
Yeah, I'm launching another. Most of you probably seen that I've got some wire on ModMaker now, selling coiling wire. I've got a site that I've got live today. I mean, there's going to be some more content going on, and I've got more wire coming, but I've been working on atiwire.com. I'm going to put some videos on it of coiling videos and things from people. Probably get Squid Dude's videos on there when I've asked him, and try and get some people into making fancy coils and try and hit on the mainstream market a little more, rather than all us lovely people that watch this show and float around on our little circle of groups, you know. So yeah, that's been my week. Been pretty busy fanning around with that. It's good. Coming along.
I've just posted a link up on the iOS page, so you can
cool.
See.
Oh, Richard has on the chat as well. Cool. Thank you, guys. What am I drinking? I'm drinking. I just saw this as well. Annie's bought me some alcohol-free beer because I'm not going to not drink. I'm just going to have a bit of time off drinking.
Yeah.
But I'm drinking this Infinite Session. This is a pale.
How good? What's it like? Any good?
It's all right. not bad. But the funny thing is, and I've only just seen it, is what they've called it on the green band.
Fresh as fuck. That's good.
Fresh AF. I think that's quite. I don't know. That's not vaping, is it? Really? But the bros say AF a lot, don't they, in vaping?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's fresh AF. Right, what am I vaping on? I'm vaping on a Kennedy Vindicator Goon 25 on top. With again, I'm not the same as you boys. I'm on the Jeffries Apple and elderflower and apple.
It's nice and it's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's not too powerful a flavour. It's all day. It's all day vapable.
Mm-hmm. I've been vaping it. Yeah, I've been vaping it for 5 days, or 4 or 5 days.
Another Goon on my Parallel Squonker with Voodoo Brew in that. And finally, I've got a new thing. I've got to say a big thanks to Christian Munoz in France.
Oh, he's a man born on June 22nd. All men born on June 22nd are naturally awesome.
Yeah, well, he is very awesome because he sent me a cap for my Haku.
It does look gorgeous on there.
And I made a new tip to go on top with the same wood as my Mike Dacus abstract mod.
It's gorgeous.
Nice.
And it's there. I probably won't ever take the atomizer off of this mod now. It's sort of set. I mean, that setup to me is just like it's as good as it can be for me. And in that, I'm vaping a DIY blackcurrant mix. That's it, is it? Is that it?
Yeah, you did the 10th first. So
yeah. Well, let's get onto the subject, shall we? I might just go and grab a beer quickly so someone else can.
Take us away, John.
Right. So we're gonna chat about stuff. Oh, I'm gonna go for it. I got my first one. And I was like, I don't know if it's a good idea to talk about it. I'm gonna. We're going to talk about, in inverted commas, ladies of vaping. I mean, inverted commas, ladies of vaping. I don't mean the fabulous women who are members of the groups that Rick just mentioned. Actually, it's just a talking point or a debate-a-thon or something.
You don't mean the ladies that wander around on stilts?
No, I don't mean that. I mean, I was trying to politically say this. Somebody asked me in the week I was talking. They asked how many vape groups was I a member of, and I said probably about 5 or 6, not counting manufacturers, but probably about 4 actually, and active in 4 or 5. And that came of the length of time I've been in groups, really. And I left a lot of I've left a lot of groups for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons was that in other groups, women are sort of almost viciously flirted with as the second they appear on a vaping group.
A whiff of a cleavage in a picture, and the boys.
Unbelievable. And I always find that embarrassing as a man. I find myself embarrassed of being a bloke, and I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I suppose it's that, because it never happens in the circle that we're in. It never happens. To be fair, women are probably the women who are members would probably tear them apart. The women anyway, if they posted the cleavage pictures. So I don't know really what my point is. I just think it would be. I feel it's quite. It sometimes vaping feels quite exclusively male when it has no reason to. It absolutely should transcend that, because it doesn't make any sense at all. I can't understand that. That would be.
I can chime in here with a story about my wife, actually. When she first started vaping, was already in the likes of the groups we're talking about, and I won't say which group this was in, but she didn't want to join a group because fear, didn't really know what happened. And I eventually convinced her to join one of them, which she saw me using all the time. And I taught her to hold a coil. And she asked me to take a picture and to post it in the group, just as an introduction to the group. Obviously not thinking it through, camera angles, which the group laid into me and into her, because, as you just said, we could see cleavage, because she was hunched over a mod like this, coiling it.
Still got this video, Brad.
I'll send it to you tonight.
Yes.
It must have been
That's
within 30 minutes. There were hundreds of comments, all saying "shit post" and "cleavage this."
You
And
just told me what group it is.
And then within 30 minutes, she was like, "No, sorry, this isn't for me," and she left. Exactly like what you're saying, John. It's the aggressive flirting, the aggressive commenting.
It's not. I mean, how the lines these people have used never have worked in real life, but there's a certain. I mean, Neanderthal men, whatever the fuck they are, they're children or fucking idiots. I don't understand. Attract this other sort of subset of women as well. You know, weird sort of slut gang. Who I remember being a member of a group, and I tried to get them to see something from a different perspective. They couldn't get it. There was a thread on the group. It was just a vaping group. It was called something like After 10 O'clock. That was what it was called, the thread. And it was just fuck ugly women, like wearing a bra and vaping after 10, and blokes just, oh, if I live near you, oh, I'd do that. So,
I think the first thing is the disproportionate ratios are for one reason only. Vaping, advanced vaping, is insanely geeky. And it's a really blokey thing. To take a hobby to this extent is incredibly blokey. And to get into something to the extent that you're rebuilding your own coils, rewicking your own shit, spending ridiculous amounts of money. I'm not saying it's exclusive to blokes, but it's much more blokey to do that. It's much more blokey to do that. Like Sarah virtually started, my wife virtually started vaping similar time to me. But all she does is put juice in a thing, plugs it in USB and sucks on it. That's it. That's the complete end of her vaping journey.
I agree.
Whereas I wanted to know this, I wanted to know that, I wanted to ask
don't
this.
You find that? I think we're missing a trick. I think the whole system's missing a trick. I think a lot less women vape. Anyway, not just get into it. I mean, vape at all. I don't think they do. But when it comes to smoking, it seems about even. That seems odd to me. That we're things are marketed. I'm not trying to make this. I'm not trying to make this gender neutral thing. But I'm trying to say that there's no reason for it not to be. That there's no reason for it not to be inclusive. And I do feel women are left feeling alienated unless they're like off. They look like something off. This bird lives down the road from you on a pop-up. That is about the level, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't think in reality it's anywhere near as big as it is on the social media-y thing.
I think if you
hang out in a vape shop for a couple of hours, it'll be very even spread, male and female.
Yeah, there is in the vape shop. I hang out in Pro Vapes with women and
Yorkshire Vapor get as many women come in to buy things as men.
I think we got Paul in chat from Endless Mods saying that let's also say there are some women in vaping who really put themselves out there.
But there is absolutely
and try to be that cleavage girl.
Yeah, and there's also people who in because I can see Paula's in chat. I was going to say Paula weirdly, because Paula's
she's not adverse to flashing a bit of cleavage out.
She can coil a Jenny. She can coil a fuck me. She can coil a Genesis atomizer, which most male vapors I know can't. You know, she can go uber geeky with titanium coils and all sorts of shit, and she's fucking good at it because it doesn't make any difference. Well, the other thing is, because she's a nail, a nail professional, I think working in miniature is perfect.
I've got a good lady to talk to you about in vaping that you probably never even heard of.
Go for it.
Has influenced modding in a massive way, and moreover, more than modding, Hexome, for instance, the original person to do an OKL build, was a woman called Mamu, called herself Mamu, and she was a 65-year-old woman now. And she's a lovely lady.
There's absolutely loads of brilliant women in the industry.
Yeah, and there's loads of brilliant vapors as well. I know. I know for myself, from a business point of view, that a lot more women are ordering from Just Add Nick than have been in the past, and that's kind of where the question sort of born in my head, really. It was born. I mean, it's been mentioned in the chat, so I'll say it. But who was it who recently got in trouble? A farmers expo got in trouble a few weeks ago because they had glamour models there draped over the tractors, and you thought that they had two glamour models there draped over tractors, and I thought, oh, don't go in a vaping convention because it looks like the budget bikini catwalk show. You are gonna have a bad fucking day, and there is literally no point in it either. No point at all. Absolutely pointless, especially when we've got events like Jam coming up, where 2 of the 3 days are industry. So what the fuck? Industry doesn't give a shit about that. Fuck that off. People care about pricing and product, not that. And they're generally going to play that down. So they're going to get loads of promo girls on the Sunday, literally for Saturday, sorry. Give people an erection. I just don't understand what it's for. It just leaves me cold.
Sex sells, John.
But it really doesn't now. I really think the tide's turning, and it's a bad idea.
It doesn't sell to us. Do you think it'll sell to the youngsters who've got plenty of lead in their pencil?
They love it. They love it. They love it.
I think there is this sort of lonely wanker thing. Like the people who click the link who says this girl lives down the road. She doesn't. I think there's that lonely wanker thing of a pretty girl smiles at you and you think, oh, out of all the women in the universe who've never been sexually attracted to me, one seems to be working on a vape stand and she's popping over. I'll dispel that myth. If they didn't come up to you before the show, they're never going to do it. Don't worry about it. You need
They're being paid to talk
drop
to you.
your expectations. Come right down. Yeah, like a level 2. Forget it. Yeah, I just think it makes the industry look stupid in that respect. I think and it will happen.
Do you think it's
What
any
are you saying, John? You're
else,
saying women are equal?
I
saying women are equal to men. They should be treated equally.
I definitely. Yeah.
Here's a question now about that. On that, do you think it's any different in other industries, like, for instance, maybe car speeds?
They're getting in trouble for it now, though, Rick. Is what I'm saying. The wheels are coming off. They're in.
Great.
That's a good line.
Great pun.
Wheels are coming off. Did you get that? Did you get that out there?
I didn't do it.
Timestamp that. What's happening in the car industry, John?
Wheels going off.
Wheels are coming off.
They're getting in trouble.
Well, they are up north, aren't they?
The models.
Is it backfiring?
Oh God!
I know there was a. I remember last year they were talking. There was a.
Does it
roof,
grind your gears, John?
There was a roof.
Oh, they're putting it in reverse.
Yeah, just pump the brakes, ladies.
I think someone's. I don't want to say seriously. I think somebody's going to. A bigger publication is going to get a shot in one of the papers. You know, soon enough. you will see it. There'll be a story about a vaping event, and the question will be why, and then where does the excuse come from? Because there isn't one. I think it will look.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice if 2019, because we always talk about it's a young industry and all this sort of stuff. 2019 would be a really nice time to mature, wouldn't it, as an industry?
Yeah, absolutely.
and maybe evolve into more modern practices that a lot of industries have already adopted.
I'm not even saying no promo girls, because there's nothing wrong with the promo girls trying to sell the stuff. But the problem is the lingerie and the stocking suits and the bikinis. That'll do. That's enough. It looks absolutely stupid.
I don't mind it.
They just want to be a beer girls in Thailand. Right, who's else got the next subject? I'm getting wound up for 20 minutes.
Right, I'm going to. Shall I just very quickly mention the saver stuff? So there's currently a thread on the Ideal Home Show Facebook group about interest levels on bubble tank for the saver. So a bubble tank maker, a top cap maker, a drip tip maker has come forward, and he's made a set of custom saver caps. I have one here, a green tip. The design of the saver was always to have this changeable tip, and obviously the tank, he's done the tank as well, and they're all matchy. He's also prepared to do bubble ones. And when the saver first came out, a lot of people were clamoring for extra juice capacity in their saver, and obviously we could never do it in its first instance due to the TPD. And the plan long term was perhaps to do an extras pack with additional drip tips, a bubble tank, etc., more airflow adapters and things like that. But this chap has come forward and he's willing to do a batch of bubble tanks, and so depending on numbers, it's an option. It's an option to do maybe a group buy, maybe through Just Add Nick or something like that. We're going to possibly get a bunch of these bubble tanks if people want them for their savers. There's a lot of things to consider first, but firstly, we really need to know if there's enough interest. And so there's a thread on the Ideal Home Show, and if you genuinely would buy a bubble tank, if you really want more capacity in your saver, if you genuinely would get one, then do comment on that thread and let us know. So next couple of days, we're just going to see how many people are interested, and if they are, then we'll try and make it happen.
I think there's such a varied type of vapor out there now that half the people are going to say they wouldn't even dream of using one of those, and then half are going to say they'd go mad for one.
I'd like it on this, on this. It'd be great, because 2 mils just gone.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think it totally depends how you use your saver. Because
that's the key.
Some people have the 2.5 mil air capacity wide open, and those people are probably the people that want a bit of extra capacity. But if you're a mouth to long, you're probably fine with 2 mil.
I got both, mate. I'm not bothered.
And it all depends on what style of mod and setup you like to be seen in your hand, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah, a lot of people have said they're really happy with the look and they wouldn't want to change the look of it as well. So I totally get that.
I'm in that camp, I think.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously the bubble glass does change the look. There is a picture of the proposed prototype in that thread as well. It's not actually made of glass. I should point that out. It's like polycarb or whatever. So if you've got your aniseed juices, they're not going to be suitable. But it's not super breakable as opposed to glass. But it's not glass. Point that out.
Cool.
So in order for him to make it worthwhile for him, so he's got to do the mold and nail it down, all that. He wants to make it really see-through and very well polished and done. For it to be worthwhile, we have to be enough numbers. So we're just sort of testing the water to see how many would be an option. Colours are an option on the bubble tank as well. That's not a big problem. So we just need to wait and see. So if you are genuinely interested, go on the thread and make yourself known. And we'll check the numbers at the end of tomorrow. So that's that.
Cool. I've got a little discussion topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seeing as I'm all about the wire at the moment, aren't I? I'm all about the wire. I've got a question here. What Atty style wattage, nick level, PG ratio determine which wire you use? Do you? I think there's a lot of vapors out there, especially or new vape. Probably not anybody that watches the show. There's a lot of vapors out there that have no idea about wires. They're on stock coils all the time and have never gone near a screwdriver and a length of wire. I think it'd be good to point at, to sort of ask our opinions on what you would use in what sort of device you would use it. So, Brad, what different wires do you use and what different setups?
Well, for the last several months, I've been extremely boring, and I've really only used the fluid. But I will backtrack and talk about previous RTAs. And in this, I almost exclusively run Camphil. I think it's 26 gauge.
Can we talk millimeters just so we're English and not thick?
I don't know what they are, even millimeters. These.
Someone in chat, do the conversion on 26 gauge.
It's difficult because the gauge is normally
to
between
millimeters.
two different millimeters.
Just for John.
0.3, is it?
Oh, I'm only joking. Carry on.
It's 0.4 basically at 1 ohm. So it's higher resistance.
I meant 0.3 of a millimeter, something like that, isn't it?
A 0.32?
26. Don't know.
Tony Parkinson's reckons it's 4 millimeters thick, which pretty damn
Tony pulled it straight
Oh,
away.
he's retracted.
My English went with it's 0.4.
We saw it, Tony, and you own a vape shop.
Yeah. My English 0.4. I gotta go.
So
Yeah.
that my sort of mouth to lung stuff is incredibly boring, but I did have the likes of the Haku and the Solo and the Hadley and even your favorite one, Rick. I want to call it the Rick. What's your favorite RT, Rick?
The Goon?
The Goon, yes. It's on all of your stuff.
Yeah.
In those, I did more of the fancier stuff, the twisted wire, the fused Claptons, the Aliens, the triple fused, the flat ribbon, that. And I think that also hops back to our geeky conversation earlier. A lot of what I did there, in the end, I was doing it just to prove I was capable of it, not necessarily for any other perceivable benefit. Like I love fused Claptons. That's where my taste barrier was found. But pushing it and trying nichrome and stainless with the strangest builds I could possibly get right. I don't know if I ever saw any benefit from it, but I enjoyed the process. But yeah, it was everything that I actually used in the
I went through all the phases of,
I wanted low resistance.
I mean, I went through all the phases. It all depends. A lot of people. I'm on a newbie group trying. I'm trying to help people if I can. And you just get silly questions on there like, "What coil is? What's the best coils?
What's the best? What's the best custom?"
And it's like there's so many. There's lots of things that lots of newbies don't throw into the equation. Like, is it mouth?
You can't explain to them. It's not perceivable as what's best. It's individual.
Yeah, but what is the best car?
A London bus.
What is the best holiday?
That's the sort of thing I'm coming up against, and it's like I just have to say, well, do you want to vape mouth to lung? What's your nick level? What's the airflow like on the atomizer? Is it a tank? Is it a dripper? Yeah. Is it cloud? Do you want to be cloudy? Or there's so many variables. And,
size of the chamber.
Yeah, all of these things. I mean, the Saver, I'll probably build up to nearly 1 ohm on it and vape at 15 to 20 watts. Whereas on the Goon, I've got a 0.15 build, not even that low. Fused Claptons in there, running at, I don't know how many watts that is. How many watts is that? 70, 80 watts? I don't know. Yep. And the same with a tube. If I want a cloudy vape, I'll vape nichrome fused Claptons. If I've got a pair of them at 0.15 as well, if I've got a single coil, I'll actually, have a wrap less. I'll still, on this Sati, for instance, the Haku, I'll be about 0.25. But then there's things like the Saver and the K-Fun where I'd use Camphil to up the resistance a bit. But it all depends on juice and things like that. And now I'm seeing a lot of people only they're just on max. They're on max VG.
Max VG. Max.
Constantly, and they think 3 milligram max VG is the be all and end all of vaping. And they're sucking on 50 milliliters a day of that stuff and losing flavour and burning up stock coils. And I think there could be. They don't know what they're missing out on. Is what I'm trying to say.
As a reviewer, I get a lot of different stuff, and I obviously have to build differently for each one. And that's the key, really, isn't it? I think. There is, I'll get comments on videos. So I'll do a new RDA. People say, "Oh, I've got this RDA. I put my standard build in, and it was crap." And it was all, well, I'm sorry, but every atomizer is different. Maybe it's not the right atomizer for you because you really want to do that build. But this atomizer will have a build that's perfect for it, and it's about like all the factors you said: airflow, wattage, nick level. Everything counts. And but I don't know if you can teach that someone in a comment on a Facebook group. I just think build, and you'll just get better and better and better, and you'll fine tune your own.
You tune in each atomizer instead of buying 100 clone atomizers. Buy one original and spend some money on it, and take your time to make it work perfectly for you.
I think Richard's right. He's doing it, but it's the thing. It's the same. I remember it's similar vein, but. I've taught quite a few people how to build Genesis atomizers, and always get to the same point, which is anyone can do it. It's fucking easy. You need one thing: you need patience, and you need to keep doing it over and over again.
I used to get great flavour out of Genesis Atties. I liked them, but cotton did get better as the flavour.
You get to a point though. You get to a point where any of us now, you get a new atomizer through the post. And the brain just computes the build, doesn't it?
Yes.
You just go, oh, look at that airflow, look at that deck, look at those big screw posts, big post holes, goon tip, and your brain's just dialing in exactly what's going to be needed. And I just don't think there's a quick shortcut to that. The only shortcut to that is maybe watching a tutorial, copying it, and seeing if
I think there's a skill. There's a skill there that's getting lost on new vapors because. And I could actually do my only other point I was going to talk about tonight. Is a stock coil's good enough these days? Because they certainly weren't when we were younger and vaping in the early days. And that's why we coil now, isn't it?
Yep, exactly. And that's why a lot of people don't.
And are they?
Because they are. They're better. They're so much better. They're
better. They're not up to your own coil because they're never going to be.
But they're close enough that no one cares.
No,
when we started vaping and we got the e-cig from the petrol station, it was shit, and it instantly made us go on the internet and go, "How do I get a good vape?" And
yeah, I mean, the only ever stock coil I ever had was the CE4 ones, or C3 and CE4 coils.
No, you used Cleto coils for a while, did you?
No, I had rebuildable deck.
Oh, did you?
But no, I have tried one, and I did think it was good. Actually, I liked it.
Yeah.
With the right juice.
I will say though, the reason stock coils are good now is because of us.
Yeah.
Because one guy put cotton in an atomizer, and the evolution comes from this end of vaping. It does.
The coils going in sub tanks now are coils that we've been making for a couple of years.
Yeah.
With
cotton.
That's just.
I remember when cotton came out. I remember on the K Fund someone went.
I do too. Yeah.
And you thought, you're mental. Why are we putting cotton in stuff? We've got silica here. Some good quality 2 mil silica. We use that shit.
Well, the hobbyist vaping isn't massively growing because the majority of new vapors
go straight up.
Don't need it.
Yeah. That's
it. I mean, they buy a Crown V4 kit and they're happy.
I wouldn't be holding this mod today if it was good enough back then. You couldn't buy a mod that was good. So we had to make our own to get the power we wanted. I just see lots of comments. I mean, there is another thing with a lot of the newbies are wanting to spend no money on anything. I mean, what can I get for 20 quid sort of fellas? And they're moaning if a stock coil doesn't last them a week. But my cotton is getting changed every 2 days. So how come, they're moaning about spending money on stock coils, but then they don't want to get the screwdriver out?
This is my personal opinion. is that if you're vaping over 25 milliliters of juice a day, you're vaping wrong.
Yeah, I think
That's my genuine opinion.
I agree.
And
well, that's just because you're not, well, you like a cloudy vape as well, though, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. But I
Don't tell Craig that.
crazy. That's just crazy.
Craig does 30 mil a day.
He's entitled. He understands what he's doing.
Yeah,
and
he
he's
does.
entitled to.
I've told him
that.
he's vapes more nicotine than I do, and he totally agreed. He does.
I vape a lot less. I mean, I still hit the mechs and the low builds, but I've also got a 6 milligram set up here.
I love. I'm
Probably
never
use 5 milliliters a day in this mod, and I vape it mostly. You know,
I get a lot of comments again on sub tanks and stock coils. Oh, it only lasted me a day. It only lasted me two days. How many milliliters of juice did it last you? Not days. Days is irrelevant.
You're vaping 3 milligram when you're a 40.
If you've done 50 mil through it, that's a good that's a good stock coil. That is.
Yeah, that's 2 days.
Imagine that. If that was me, that'd last me 2 weeks.
Yep.
If you did that through it.
Rick, what's the volume on the internal volume on the silicon bottles again?
Which one?
Your silicon bottles.
Yeah, I've got 5 different ones.
The short ones, the standard
6 or 7, isn't it?
The smallest ones.
Yeah.
About 5.5 milliliters, I think.
I go through one of those every 2 days. So I'm doing like 2.5 mils a day using Esquonca.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably doing about 20 milliliters a day, I think.
You've just got to. It's if it was cigarettes, you know, you'd be so expensive, wouldn't it? If that's how you were doing it, you know.
I don't believe that some people save money though as well.
Oh no, that's.
But they want to save money. This is the thing as well. They moan about the stock coils being expensive.
Yeah,
they're only buying Vupu drags and pulses, you know, and they're moaning about the coils not lasting very long. But they don't seem to be interested in making their own coils.
And making your own juice.
Yeah, and that, yeah.
If you really adamant you want that to do that kind of volume daily, you've really got to make your own juice.
And they're not taking into account the sweetness of the juice they're vaping on. You know, so it's only lasted me 2 days. What juice are you vaping on? You know, is it full of sweeteners or is it, you know, vanilla heavy or what? You know,
this is a good segue into one of the things I was going to talk about actually, because I did a live stream on Tuesday and I kind of put my thoughts out there on pods. Obviously, as a reviewer, I'm getting a lot of pods in. I'm getting every single vape company on the planet is currently either releasing their pod or producing their pod. I had a chat with Coil Art today, and they're working really hard on a pod system. That's their entire focus is on a pod system right now. And everyone's doing a pod system. And on my live show, I kind of explained that my YouTube channel, because I'm purely a hobbyist reviewer, my YouTube channel is an advanced user channel in the same way that a DSLR camera reviewer doesn't suddenly start doing a video for a Polaroid or, you know, an instant or disposable camera. You know, it's a specialist thing. It's an advanced level thing. And so I'm doing videos for hobbyist advanced vapors because I can't mentally just do loads of newbie same as cheap shit things without going mental. And this isn't my job, it's my hobby.
I haven't been saying newbie to be a derogatory term either before anybody says that. It's just a new vapor is what I'm
And it was interesting. I got sort of a mixed reaction in chat. So basically I ended by saying, if a pod comes along and it's super innovative, super interesting, I will cover it.
Yeah.
If it's the next pod along that's exactly the same as the previous pod along, I'm not mentioning it unless it's better. Unless it's way better than anything else that's come out, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Therefore, I'm not giving up my time.
You've done so much more than me. I must have tried probably 4 pods, and I see no evolution like in the last 18 months. They're different shapes.
The only evolution really is the salt nicks, isn't it? Really,
but that's not them. That's got nothing to do with it. That's not them. It's the same bullshit.
Wasn't that Jewel that got sorting all of that out, or
No, I mean, okay, they tried to patent the thing, the catalyst thing, but it doesn't make any. They couldn't patent it because you can't. It's the only way to do it, so it doesn't make any. It's fucking stupid. But
let's throw it out to chat. In chat, do you own a pod? Yes or no? And do you use a pod? Yes. Or do you use that pod that you own? If you do, it'd be interesting to know in chat how many people have picked up a pod and are they actually using it.
Okay, and if you had to make a choice as well, if you had to throw all your setups away and have one with a proper setup.
Yeah, Lost Vapor Ryan counts.
This is the brand new pod from Joytech. It's the Magic Attapack, and the Attapack bit is a shout to the penguin that they did. You remember the penguin?
Yeah, fuck, that was shit.
So it's got a similar sort of thing going on to the penguin. It's got really good capacity for a pod system, battery capacity, sorry. It's got really good juice capacity for a pod system, and it's coilless. They're using the heating plate thing on this pod. So and that is, I mean, it's completely flavorless and it's a naff vape. But that's fairly interesting in terms of how it's.
Well, I'm glad you ended it with that. But the thing,
but that's unfortunately that's the nature of this coilless technology that it's causing that flavour.
It's shit, but interesting.
But don't you think, Richard? Right, they have to. With all these things, you know, this plate technology thing, where they're lying like fuck and saying we've got this razor thin piece of metal and we're going to heat it up, and there's no cotton, right? There's nothing in there.
Yeah, there is a layer of cotton on top of the plate.
Yeah, of course there fucking is, because they need something to fuck up, because you have to throw the pod away. They want it to do that. That's it. Gillette aren't going to release a razor blade that sharpens itself when you put it down, because they don't make any money. It has to fuck up. So whenever I see these things and somebody says, "Oh, we've got this new pod thing," yes, I know, but you would have put something in there that has a lifespan, so that you chuck the pod away. You don't refill it. You fuck it off, because you are fuck faces. Because that's the industry. That's the market. You have to be a fuck face.
Yeah, I get what you mean. This is a good vape for a pod system.
Yeah, it's coming up in the chat, Ryan and stuff, and people.
It's a good vape for it's a good vape for a pod thing. I've got no issue with anyone getting into vaping from smoking using a pod, but I can't psychologically keep just putting up videos that are just another pod, unless there's something to them, you know.
Somebody made a really good point in chat. I'm going to find it actually, because it was exactly
because a lot of while you're doing that, because a lot of reviewers have this shtick where they say, "Oh, my main thing as a vape reviewer is getting people off the stinkies." Mm-hmm. That's almost like a cliche catchphrase now.
Yeah, we always just
if that's cliche for the low end stuff, isn't it?
If that's fucking true, why, when they do something like this, do they not show people how to prime the wick?
Yeah.
Why do they use jargon? You know, why don't they only do, if that's true, why don't they only do stuff like this? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. That's just some fucking vitriolic virtue signaling thing that vape reviewers say.
The two, well, no, I totally agree. Well, we've had discussions off air with other vape reviewers where I got a little bit animated with a couple for saying something was good, and I said, "Well, it isn't though, is it?" And they said, "Well," I said, "Well, no, because you said if the industry turns into this, it's a bag of shit, and then a year later you're reviewing it and saying it's great." I mean, that's just a lie. Anyway, David Childs and Derry Murphy they both posted up a very similar thing to what I would say. David Childs used the Breeze 2 on holiday, not used it since. That's exactly.
Paul's come through with a good one on there from Endless Mods. He said about, these pods aren't aimed at us.
No, that isn't.
Exactly, but my YouTube channel is.
Yes.
Well, someone just suggested that you should set up a pod channel.
But I can't psychologically do that because it doesn't interest me.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. I totally agree. And not only...
It almost needs to be done by a smoker, doesn't it? A pod reviewer, you should be a smoker.
Yeah.
and they should be like wanting to give up and trying pods, you know, and comparing them to smoking possibly.
But I like
Diamond.
You know, when we take the piss out of a pod system, or Richard just picked up that atomizer and said, sorry, the pod system with the plate in and said it's shit and and the vape's cold and there's no flavour. Only Richard can say that, because I have no interest in the opinion of somebody who's only just started. I don't care. I want to hear Richard say something, because that's the thing I'm going to tell my nan. You know, if she wants to stop smoking. Well, I mean, she's been dead 10 years, so she's probably going to quit. But that's the thing I'm going to recommend, because I know what I'm talking about. I know Richard knows what he's talking about. I'll have that then. So the thing of saying they're not aimed at us, I get your point, but I feel I get that point, but I feel that's become an excuse, an industry excuse, that we just go, oh, it's not aimed at us.
It's not aimed at us, but it's still worthwhile knowing about it, so that when a newbie, if a good one comes along, I'll definitely tell everyone.
Exactly, Richard. That's all we want. That's all we want. That's all I meant, really.
So that was that. Then, so I guess pods are the thing right now, right? Yeah. I think that's clear to see from what China's pushing out. Interestingly, I wonder if anyone has actually done well off a pod as well, because there's so many of them out there. None of them have really become the pod, have they? Aspire
Juul have done pretty well.
But, that's my point. Is, are they looking at Juul's numbers and going, yes, we need a piece of that, and they're all trying? Cool. Has anyone actually successfully broken into that at all?
Not even close. I remember when it was sort of burgeoning and people realised what it was. Things like the Fix, and a couple of others, but not even anywhere near.
I think the lesson they need to learn from Juul is not that it's the pod system that's the thing. It's the marketing. It's the lifestyle, the marketing. Yeah. That's the thing, I guess.
Isn't it that's just the atypical business thing, though? It's look down the road and go, all right, look at them, they're making money. Let's not do any innovation. Let's just take some of their money by doing exactly what they're doing.
Which brings me on to my next thing. So pods are it right now. What is the next big thing? What's the next big thing 2019? This is what Coil Art asked me today, and I was like, no idea.
Main veining nicotine, like a heroin addict.
It's tough, isn't it? It's very tough, because it's all got so good. It's all been done, isn't it? I mean,
if you said dual coil RDAs, you could name 5 brilliant ones. If you said single coil RDAs, you could name 5 brilliant ones. If you said mech mod, you could name 5 brilliant ones. Sub tanks, 3 brilliant ones. Do you know what I mean? So everything's been done. Like, so I don't. I
mean, we're getting
very hard. It's very hard to predict what the next big trend is.
Last year was the year of getting smaller.
Maybe it's big. Maybe it's little mouth to lung tanks or something.
But that's still got legs. That's got plenty of legs.
Mouth to lung did have a resurgence in 2018.
Yeah.
It's still going as well. It's still.
Of course it is. Yeah, but I'm just trying to work out, because squonking kicked off again. What, 2000? I'm talking when it first started really going nuts again. Was probably 2017.
Yeah, and 18 was massive for squonking, but I think that's reached a level.
17 was the big one, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, 17, 18. I mean, 17 was big for advanced hobbyist vapors, and then 18 they went mainstream.
Yes,
I think that's the pinnacle now of squonking. I don't think that's the next big thing. So I
think that's the next thing that's going to get attacked more. I mean, it's already been attacked with the bottle sizes, isn't it?
I don't think they're going to attack it. I wouldn't.
It's the only thing I'm seeing that newbie vapors are coming off of their tanks to give squonking a go. So they are sort of moving into the rebuildable market.
It's a lot more complicated to attack, though. You know, the bottles being removed.
Yeah.
An amendment to a bill is very different to a new line. You know, to creating a new rule. That's not the same thing. There's a lot of confusion with that. When they amend the the legislation, not bill, sorry, we don't live in America. When they amend the legislation, that means they're clarifying what they meant. I mean, that's fucking loose. But adding new lines, you can't do that. That's not the same.
No, it's not a problem, is it? But that's the only thing I'm seeing. If you talk about mainstream, and I'm not because I'm in one group that's very big and lots of newbies in it. The only thing I'm seeing them moving on to anyone is squonkers like the Voopoo or the Pulse. So they are sort of moving on to rebuildables and advancing.
I've got one for 2019. What I think is going to happen. One thing, definitely, I think disposables back.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
Disposable pod systems. Me and Richard.
The Preco disposable tank was.
Oh, disposable tank, yeah, but disposable do pod systems. So the whole, you kind of buy a pack of 3.
See, that doesn't sit well with me. I mean, I don't like.
I agree.
It doesn't stop it being the next big thing.
It doesn't make it stop it. Yeah, it's gonna happen. How much more shit is there now with fucking pods and tiny fucking bottles?
And
100%. It's wasteful, but that's not going to stop them from making it.
What I said to Coil Art was that ultimately, don't worry about that. I'd sort of said 2019, Coil Art should have a set agenda, and that should be produce their new dual coil RTA, their best ever dual coil RTA. Do that, tick that off, release that. Do their best ever new mouth to lung RTA, release that. Their best ever bottom feeding RDA, release that. The best ever cloudy dripping RDA, release that. Their best ever mech mod, release that. Their best ever regulator mod, release that. Their best ever squonker, release that. And just have the set things. This is the RTA from Coil Art of 2019.
It's a daft question for them to even ask because the industry and the market is so broad now and bigger. There's so many different offsets of people, subsets of the culture, isn't there?
Wouldn't it be great though if all the companies
everybody?
Wouldn't it be great though if the industry wasn't chasing a trend though and just produced their best ever?
Yeah, they should do. They should be proud of what they're making and make some less things and really make them well.
I guess their counter would be that's what Inikin do, and it doesn't really work for them. Because Inikin don't really follow a trend as such. They just try and do their best.
They make, haven't they, Inikin?
Their rep's good.
Yeah.
Endless has just popped.
That's Tom, by the way. Sorry, not Paul.
It's not Paul. It's Tom. Sorry. Disposable is perfect for a smoker. We need to get away from the price point of vaping and go back to the price point of smoking. But
this is what's selling a lot of smokers. They're getting sold on it being cheaper.
But they're being sold on it being.
They almost don't care about.
They're being ripped off, but
the health benefits.
It's not. I think that's fine. But they're being lied to because they're saying the saving is about a fifth of what they get 1/5 off if they.
It can be.
It can be, but it can be 95% cheaper.
I don't spend any money on vaping.
Well, this is the point I'm trying to say is that when you buy,
he says while holding a £300 squonker.
When you buy 3 pods,
I bought the atomizer.
Say you buy 3 pods for 12 quid, and the manufacturer says each pod is the same as a pack of cigarettes. Well, it's not. Because it costs 1.5p to make.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Is the abuse. As any retailer in any business, there is a lot of there's obviously a lot of ethics at play. There's a lot of ethics at play all day, every day with lots of stuff. And hopefully, I know Rick does exactly the same as me. Sometimes you get a product where you can literally make up the price, but you try and work out what you think is reasonable. You think, well, what have I paid for it? What it cost me in? What labour have I got?
In my model, I make a fixed percentage if I can.
What labour have I put into it? And then what's the final product? I don't think well, pack of Benson's is 12 quid. Because that's a bullshit way of thinking. That's absolutely incorrect. I totally get why people think that tobacco is the model. Tobacco's not a fucking model. Fuck the model. Fuck those fucking fuckheads and their fucking pod system. Skanking people over and over again. They're going to say fuck all because there's not 20 cigarettes in a pod. If it's only lasting you half a day, that's not even 10. They're doing you. And the tobacco company are making a fucking killing because they're not paying anything back into the government as they had to. It's a tax dodge for them.
I mean, it's so much more profitable than tobacco.
So much more. So fuck them. I really. Yeah,
in this country, anyway, tobacco's still cheap in a lot of other countries, but.
Yeah, of course it is, but that causes more problems. Which is the funnier thing is the countries where it's the cheapest, it's now illegal to vape. Cigarettes are £1 a packet in Thailand, but it's illegal to vape because it's fucking cheaper than that. It's cheaper than £1 for 20.
Yeah, it is.
That's an incredible thing to say. Fuck me. We're talking about £12 for 3 pods, and how much money people can save. And you can save money off £1. I just think it's not a price model to stick to.
Yeah, it's too much vested interest. But we've been down that road.
Yeah.
It does make John say fuck them. Fucking choice.
He didn't say the C word, though.
Cunt.
Not yet.
Oh, there you go.
There we
go. Next, come on, let's move on. We've got a guest coming on in a second as well.
Have we?
Young Tom's coming on. Young Tom's coming on.
You really did rip up the script.
This is what happens when we don't have a script, is even we don't know what the fuck's going on.
We're gonna go for I was going to. Here we go. Realistic changes to the TPD. That's what I've got written up.
Oh, okay. Now you're talking.
Let's hear it.
What post Brexit? Are we talking post Brexit?
Yeah, post Brexit. We're throwing it over the bin anyway.
I got an idea here. I got a brilliant.
You're only allowed to change one role each.
One thing. One blanket statement that I'm going to make about post-Brexit TPD changes.
Oh, no. Yeah, okay, go for it.
Fuck all.
Oh, no. But no, this is in an ideal world. We know what's actually going to happen. They just adopt it because it takes 5 seconds. I don't mean it.
In an ideal world...
You can change one bit.
I'd bin the 20 milligram max limit.
That's mine too. Rick.
Yeah.
I'd bin the 10 ml bottle.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that there have been discussions about removing the tank capacity.
Yeah,
and making it 10 ml, so that it's the same as a bottle, because then it's the same danger level as a bottle.
Yeah, true.
A kid can get hold of a 10 ml bottle just as easy as they can get hold of a tank. So.
Yeah. Can we not? Oh, fuck me though. The 20 milligram thing, it to me is the how to get the smokers. We need it more. We need more Nick.
So 20 mg Nick would have done me when I started.
Yeah. Free base, not fucking salt Nick won't work.
Tommy. The only reason I would 20 milligram isn't much good is because it usually comes in PG, and I'm quite.
Let's get it up. Let's get it.
Yeah,
look, it used to be 72. What? Let's make it. I think 50 is a good.
Round it off to 100, even better.
Yeah, it's poison over 72. That's why they can't.
Right, Tom's in now. What do you want to say based on the previous things?
I'm really sorry.
Put your 2 pence in.
I'm really sorry for breaking the script, John. I do apologize.
Go.
I've just sat in the chat. For me personally, when we talk about pods and stuff, it has no meaning to us as vapors. You know, we look on Facebook and we see weekly, daily on Facebook, 60 ml shortnut fills sold for £6. Mm-hmm. We see that, and that's as a general vapor, that's what people on Facebook see. But as pod systems, we're not going back to the smoker. The smoker sees it as £13 for a pack of 20. We don't see it as that because we see it from a vaping perspective. We don't see it from a smoker's perspective.
But are we not? But then it goes back to the same thing. Is why I want Richard's opinion on the newest pod thing. I don't give a shit about Bob down the road. It's opinion. I don't care because I know Tom knows what he's talking about, and I know Richard knows what he's talking about. But if it's when it comes to that's exactly the same argument for me. I don't care if that guy thinks it's a bargain. He's just a fucking dickhead because we all know that's not true.
That is where they come. I can sort of understand where new vapors are coming from and them not wanting to spend money because it was, it is so expensive. It isn't a very attractive proposition to be able to still get your nicotine cheaper, isn't it? When you're a smoker spending a tenner or whatever price.
I agree. That's
I was like that in the old
You're on
days.
the same side of the argument, though. I agree. I can't agree with the pod system being cheap because it isn't.
Well, it's not cheap from a vapor's perspective. It's cheap.
No. But fuck the vapors, the smoker's perspective because they're incorrect.
No, but they're not incorrect though because that's
They are. No, they are incorrect. No, not. This isn't about relativity. They are incorrect. I know what you're saying from a relative point of view, it's cheap. But I'm saying from an actual real world point of view, they're being ripped off. So they're wrong. You don't argue with somebody. If somebody said they like fucking dead sheep, you wouldn't go, wow, I see it from your side of the thing. You like sheep. You say to them, as a society, we think that's a bit mental. Can you not fucking dead sheep in the middle of the car park?
Yeah, but wasn't we being screwed as vapors when we first started, when we were spending £100?
Absolutely, though, Tom. But we learn. But I think to sort of let other people be complicit in the bullshit is totally.
I don't feel like they're getting screwed, though. Me personally, I've got no ties with the pod system. I personally,
I don't have any ties. I don't sell them.
I don't have any issue with a smoker grabbing a pod. If that's
no,
what
I don't. But if all I'm saying is, if they said it's cheap, you're quite all right to say it isn't.
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's cheap, but relatively to
the refillable ones are okay.
Yeah, they're not as bad. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll give you that. It's not a blue.
The closed ones are a massive rip-off.
Oh, it's amazing. They've got them everywhere.
In terms of what you get for what you pay.
You've got to a vehicle or to a smoker. That's my argument.
As an end user,
fuck a sheep.
It's cheaper. It's cheaper than fucking sheep. But as an end user, do you really give a fuck if the company you're buying from makes more money than they used to, but you're saving money than you used to?
Jesus Christ. Made fair smooth for a 20-pack, a tenner. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's £9.94 or something.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. So relatively to a pod system is a hell of a lot cheaper to a smoker. We need to start thinking of it as a smoker.
No. Yeah, but it's not cheap. I agree. But if you can get them, as I said, if you get them, if without the contamination from the fucking shitty wankers at Big Tobacco, they wouldn't be saving a fifth because that's real. You don't get a pack.
It's money in their pockets.
My original point, Tom, is I completely agree with that. I completely agree with what you're saying. However, my point is that's not my business. But my job is to entertain the hobbyist vapors and interest hobbyist vapors and inform hobbyist vapors. Like, if you get what I mean, my channel is for people that are already well into it, and every now and again I'll do a video saying what I would recommend for a smoker, but ultimately what I'm really doing is for the hobbyist, isn't it?
Yeah, there's plenty of people out there that review smock every 2 fucking days, so you don't need to do it. Do you know
exactly,
what I mean?
yeah, exactly, and it doesn't interest me, so I can't do it.
What we do need is a smoker who will review pod systems, I think.
But you see, I'm just typing this in chat, but I feel there's an obligation, and it's an obligation from people who do know the fucking difference to the new people. I do feel whether you are.
I just think the market's got so vast now and so different, and Tom will probably agree with me on this as well. I would like to sell to all vapors, and Tom would too. obviously. We're touching on the smallest percentage of the vaping market with the products we sell. And it'd be nice, but we can't. We can't get to them because they don't want to do what we do. You know, they don't want to make their own calls. They don't want to use mech mods. They're scared of them. They don't,
Yeah, you're right, Rick. How often are you in the vape shop these days, Tom?
Never in
Never.
the vape shop, but we obviously have we know like the time limits, like we ban mechs in the shop between the hours of 9 in the morning and 6 p.m. because we know for a fact people with mechs don't go in the shop at that time. It's all the older generation who go in for 18 milligram, 12 milligram and going for a coil. That's all they're going in for. So we know for a fact that them times is when they go in. So the lads who are finishing work will go in and sub home at the end of the night. So we know for a fact that the majority of the vapors that are coming in, which is the majority of the time we're open between 9 and 6, we're open until 8:30. That it is your mouth to lung people who are smokers who wanting to quit at that time. So you're getting majority of the people in the shop are mouth to lung users or smokers.
But also, presumably in the shop, when someone shows an interest, you do kind of show them the rebuildable stuff.
It all depends. It all depends because I think what we forget as a community and everything like that is when we used to buy vaping products, we were told, well, if you smoke 20 a day or you smoke 40 a day or you smoke 60 a day, this is the amount of juice you're going to use.
People still do that though, Tom. People still do that.
That's great. That's what I want people to focus on more rather than being like, because there isn't a cycle of learning anymore. People come into a shop and they can pick up a smoke mag and fuck off and they're vaping clouds on 220 watts. There isn't that learning curve. We don't have that learning curve anymore.
All right. Yeah, sorry. I kind of picked up the wrong end of that. I never believed that I always hated that question when you're standing there and somebody says, how many do you smoke a day? And they'll go, 16. And they go, well, yeah, that's probably 6 milligram. What? That don't do shit.
Yeah, where does that knowledge come from?
You fucking maniac. I know people who smoke 3 cigarettes and they want 36 milligram because those fucking do. Yeah, it's
I just feel there isn't that learning curve anymore. And I think
you're right.
And I was saying about how pods should be given to smokers. And
agree. I agree. I agree. Let's burn out though. But let's burn the tobacco companies out of the game and put there are Inikin are bringing out pod systems and blah blah blah. Push those all day, every day. I got no problem with that at all.
But we don't know who owns companies anymore. We don't know who BAT owns. There's a lot of companies that we all deal with on a day basis that BTA have money in, so we don't know who's actually owning these companies anymore. I know people I talk to on a daily basis. I know that BAT have a lot of money invested in their companies, and they're meant to be as a face, as just a regular vapor that owns a shop. But it isn't. It's BTA we're backing.
Yeah.
BAT, sorry, we're backing. That's the problem. Where do you know where British American Tobacco is to where they're not?
I think, but I don't think. I think. But then, Tom, at least you give a shit. To even consider it, at least you give a shit. Do you know what I mean? You're not inviting them in. I have an issue with those people who invited them in. I mean, where the fuck do you think they're going to go? They're not going to come back to your shop. They'll go to Tesco because they're already in Tesco. So they're going to buy their refill there. Don't be a dickhead. You're going to close your own fucking shop down. Because
that's it. That's why you see a lot of companies like Blue have got all these incentives that go into your shop.
Of course they have, because they'll shut your fucking shop down.
But you see people taking it on because some vape shops aren't even paying the fucking rent these days.
No.
The question, Tom.
Sorry.
Coming in chat. When's the endless pod out?
We are in discussions about a disposable.
Yeah.
But
because you, as a vape shop, seeing a lot of new vapors, aren't you?
The problem we've got with obviously releasing a pod, all pod systems that are disposable and already filled will be filled in China, and we don't want to do that. We want to fill our own pods to make sure the best liquid's going in there, and to make sure we know what's going on with it.
Me and Richard, we actually both got to try the same thing at the same time. That's why I kind of cheated when we were talking about new stuff in 2019. Disposables are going to be 2019, and not only that, Tom hit the nail on the head by saying that they're coming
Yeah, there's going to be pods released by juice companies, not
Yes.
manufacturers.
They're going to be disposables which are full of the liquid that you do like, because but then it takes it, we're back to the same fucking argument, because then you could buy 3 disposables for a £5. We get a load of plastic waste, which I totally don't agree with, Rick. I'm absolutely with you with that. But now the vape shop, your vape shop's making money. You're buying the liquid to fill up the thing. They're making money. And the people who aren't making money are the fucking tobacco company. And you're half the price of the co-op. And you're still making, a good margin, because I've seen the pricing on some of these things. And I know what it is. So I know it's still great. And at the end of the day, the consumer's getting a bargain. It's a difficult one to argue, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're never going to get rid of VAT. We're never ever going to get rid of VAT. I honestly, hand on heart, give this industry 2 more years as sole industry like this, and VAT will take it over.
Yeah, money talks.
And Imperial.
They've got money to come in to the literally buyers now to buy it. Let's be realistic, as people out there that own shops, and I will hand up heart. And I know Paul said this numerous times. If Philip Morris came along and said, "Here's 10 million, take it," and everyone will take it, because it's life-changing money. It puts food on the table. No vape shop out there is going to say, "Fuck you, British American Tobacco. We do not care about you. You run about your family." People come into this industry to make money. That was
we said that about you. You can't turn down that money.
No, I would put on a little thong and do a little dance for the money.
And that's only a £5.
Yeah, of course. Let me go get my thong.
But that's the problem we've got. We've got the fact is that they can come in and buy us, and people will happily be bought out. And it's not the fact of we love vaping. We do this free. You guys do the show every week free. You don't get paid to do it. You do it for the love of vaping and enjoyment with your friends. But if money like that comes on the plate, you're taking it. Anyone is stupid enough not
because
to
you'd be nuts. You'd be insane not to. I'm not. We're not.
Oh, see, it's business at the end of the day. It's nice to be. It's helping people out is a byproduct of business, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great byproduct. It's what keeps you interested.
Yeah. What keeps me? It's the same as I'm sure it's with you, Rick, as well. But what keeps and Tom too, and Richard too. The interactions you have with specific people over stuff when it comes to your company are what keeps you going every day. Somebody sent me an email the other week. Oh no, someone sent me an email 2 days ago. Just how chuffed they were with everything, with the order and how
it's great, isn't it? It's great when you have interaction like that, isn't it? Yeah.
And they just said thanks, and they said something cheered them up. Or Viv sent me an email week before last because she'd buggered up her order, and it made me laugh my ass off. And that's what makes every day, isn't it? Bollocks, I'm not going into work if it's boring.
But it's like enjoying your pictures and people asking for pictures and stuff. That's funny. I
love doing it. Yeah. Always like drawing.
It's all about interaction. That's why you can't burn bridges, because it always comes back to the people.
Yeah. And that's the thing about this industry, or us on here. We are people dealing with people, whereas big tobacco companies aren't. And that's what makes it enjoyable for us, isn't it? I mean, it's the people are the business, and you get a personal message from somebody saying they're happy with their order. You touched.
You
think somebody sends Joel a message and says, "Oh, thank you ever so much for sending my thing out,"
or when somebody, the amount of times when you walk in, you're at a show and you're walking around and you kind of think, there's nobody about. I'm on my own. And then somebody who's just a bit shy walks over and says, "Oh, by the way, I just want to say I watch the show every week and I really like it and it's really fun. And thanks." And just shake your hand and then walk off. And you think, that's really nice. Just
it is. Yeah.
I've got to do that. There was a bloke who ran up to me at Vape Fest this year and went, Have you seen Rick? Have you seen Rick? And I said, yeah, he was here about 5 seconds ago. And you were the person missing from his tick list. I got it. Go get it.
Right, really good question in chat. Dominic Pelosi, what vape events are you looking forward to, and what vape events are you going to in 2019? I think that's a good question. Tom, what about you? Are you representing?
I want to do Germany this year.
Ooh, me too.
Stuttgart.
I want to get on a plane this year and get away to as many vape events abroad that we can, because I'll be honest, I think the shows in the UK are tired, are very, very tired. There's no sort of, like you guys say every time, we go to the vape events to see our friends. We don't go for the shows, we go for our friends.
Yeah.
And that's it for me. I go for the show. We do business, but I
I
enjoy
don't
the
go
show.
for the business. I go for the beer.
That's
So,
it,
you don't know, Tom. You don't know if you're going jam. You don't know.
I'm going to be at every show in the UK, absolutely every show in the UK, but my predominant achievement is to go abroad this year.
Right. Brad, do you know where you're going?
Yeah, I will be at Jam on the Saturday. The day before is my daughter's first birthday, so I'm pretty sure the wife won't let me go. I'm looking forward to Fest, whether it happens or not. I'm going.
That's official.
Yeah.
Where it happens or not, you're going. Cool.
Well, I told you guys last week. I booked and paid my hotel fucking last year already.
Fuck it. Weekend in Shrewsbury. It's fucking
Yeah.
lovely.
Whether it happens or not, I'm
I
there.
heard a lot of people say that.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, that's really it. Although Tom said Germany, and my brain just started going like, ooh, beer, Bratwurst. I could do it.
Yeah. John, what about yourself?
I think I'm doing them all. I think I'll be at Jam Expo, Expo the Return definitely. And I think we'll probably be in Stuttgart as well. Just I think we've got quite a few German customers, and we won't be showing there, but I chat to some people and meet some. There's German Omis who've sent me messages before. And the other thing is, it's at the fucking airport, isn't it?
Yeah.
You land, and the exhibition centre is connected to Stuttgart Airport. So, and it looked, I will say, Mark, the fuckhead, made it look like really good fun. So I really want to go. But
Rick, do you know last minute or?
I want to go to Jam, and I will go to Jam, but I'm struggling with the hotels at the moment.
They're expensive. Yeah.
Because I'm not really up for paying 250 quid a night to stay in Blinking Ibis there. It's just seems to have more than doubled in price.
We can stay down the road and share an Uber, Rick.
Yeah. So I'll go up to Jam. I always like to go to Birmingham once, if not twice. I'm quite liking the sound of the Liverpool Jam.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Just because it's somewhere different, and I'm hoping that I haven't checked out where it is or anything like that, but I'm hoping it's actually near some life outside of the event where Birmingham isn't.
I don't know Liverpool very well, but it looks fairly central.
Yeah, well, I'll be that means there's good bars and good socialising to be done, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I like Expo. It's the biggest and best event, but it's in the NEC. Is just too far.
It's fucking in the middle of nowhere. And
yeah, it's a pain getting about, and no one's together in the evenings because they're all spread out all over Birmingham and villages outside.
I did about 100 quid on taxis in the last Expo.
It's so expensive. Yeah. I called a tax driver a cunt. So,
me personally, I am not going to Jam. I've already told you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just thought I'd add some drama.
I'm not going to Jam. I am going to Expo in May. But then, obviously, Vape Fest is 50-50. We don't know what's happening with that yet. But then, Expo the Return is a very similar time to Liverpool Jam, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, I'll go Liverpool then. If you both go Liverpool, I'll go Liverpool.
So that's
I fancy trying something new. Yeah,
I really want it again.
I would have been to Expo once.
So.
Yeah,
okay. I'll Liverpool instead then.
Liverpool it is then.
So maybe definites are, I think, Expo 1 and then Jam Liverpool. I think are the two definites. And then Vape Fest, nobody knows. And we'll see.
Oh, and somebody just said in chat something which I'm going to have to agree. I don't know. If you want to go into Jam, great, get some tickets. But quite a few people have said they're probably not going to bother buying a ticket. They're just going to sit at the pub the fox outside because we have the fourth year of being in the third year of being in the fox, and I spent 95% of my Saturday at the fox.
Yeah, it's sunny. You want to be outside, don't you? So
It's absolutely lovely. Just like being sat.
I was in the Modders Gallery at Jam and spent more time outside in the fox than I did in the gallery.
Jam is the best. Jam is right up there social wise.
It is great.
Just having that pub just outside is just fantastic.
Yes.
And you don't need a ticket, really.
I don't want to say that because I feel bad, but
yeah.
Just leave it.
You know what feeling bad is, mate.
No.
It goes away.
Yeah, it's true. I'm probably going to be up there. I think I'm going to get there on Friday. I'm going to do the trade show on Friday, spend the night, and then spend the night on Saturday as well. Be ready for the Omis coming on Saturday.
Tom, are you still doing your show with Paul? Your live show?
Tuesday, yeah.
Plug it.
Endless Banter. We do it every Tuesday, 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. We've also done it 3 times now live on Expo stage. We basically just rip shit, chew fat, and just have a laugh. At the Expos, we've made people eat Spanish onions, made people run around extras. We've done absolutely all sorts you can think of on the stage. So we just have shits and giggles.
So is it on the YouTube channel? Is Endless Banter?
It's Endless Mods UK on YouTube.
Yeah, check that out. Tuesday nights, 8 p.m.
Thank you.
Jolly good, jolly good. Is there any other business before we check out? Sorry about the start, everyone. I'll reiterate that.
I'm sorry, everybody, for spoiling the script.
It was a wonderful surprise having you, mate.
Perspective.
It's always good to have Tom on.
I was in the chat and I was like, John, just fucking listen to me.
And you came on, you didn't listen to you.
It sounded like my wife for a second there.
Little Tom from RedTube now.
It is little Tom.
Right. We're done?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Okay. We'll see you all again next week. Thank you very much for watching. A little bit different tonight. Obviously, we messed up with the software. We'll look into that. We'll add to a list of software issues.
You sorted it.
And yeah, we'll be back to normal next week. James will be back next week, and good times will be had. Thank you very much for watching. Smash that like button. Double tap that dislike button. And we'll see you again next week. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Ta-da.
Bye.